Hello? Hey Nick, can you say something just to test the audio?
Hello.
Okay, it works. Beautiful. Hey y'all, we're having technical difficulties. Just give us like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. All right, first up on the agenda is roll call. Please let me know if you are present or present and voting. Speaker Johnson.
Present.
Majority Leader Smith.
Present.
Chairperson Smith.
Present.
Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz. Parliamentarian Lunger.
Present.
Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Jozwicki.
Present.
Legislator Duong. Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Present.
Legislator Iveza Maria. Legislator Mason. Legislator Mullins.
Present. Voting.
Legislator Prishandaro.
Present and voting.
Legislator Rosario.
Present.
Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters.
Present and voting.
Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Williams.
Present and voting.
Legislator Wolf.
Present.
Legislator Smith. Okay. Okay. All right, so with that, we meet quorum. Next up on the agenda is our land acknowledgement. We recognize the wrongs done to those forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment that is inclusive. Commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. All righty. Chairperson Markowitz, are you present or present and voting?
I'm present.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that I missed walking on? No, okay. All right, next up is the approval of the agenda. Is there any motions to amend the agenda at this time? President Garcia?
Motion to change approval of Dakota for Elections Commission to approval to the Validations Committee.
Is there a seconded by Speaker Johnson? Thank you, Chairperson Valdez. All right, is there any other motions to amend the agenda at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and
Keep it. Just change Elections Commission to Validations Committee.
I think it might be validation.
all right. Is there any other motions to amend the agenda at this time? All right, hearing and seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a voice vote. Is there any nays at this time? Any yays?
Yay.
All righty, with that, the agenda has been approved. Next up on the agenda, we have announcements. Under announcements, we have a statement from the president. I will pass the floor to President Garcia.
I'm gonna use the mic for those online. Alrighty, so I don't usually do things like this, but I thought it was necessary. Because I think we've kind of been floating adrift from like our main purpose, so I kind of want to regroup. So I've written a short little speech. Well, not super short, but don't worry, it's not too long. Hello, esteemed members of the 67th session of the Oakland University Student Congress. I'm really happy to see how large our membership has grown and the diverse set of individuals we have serving the student body. However, given our expanding team, I think it's more important than ever that we stay grounded in the values that defined the start of this administration. Lately, I've noticed an increase in tension among our members. I suspect that this may be due to the heightened political tension in our country. And as we approach our own elections next month, I anticipate that these tensions may rise even further. Our Congress is stronger when we have a diverse set of beliefs, rather than just an echo chamber of the same ideas. This is why we must be respectful, patient, and inviting, when a fellow member introduces a new idea or asks a question. Civil debate is vital to educate one another, and it strengthens our ability to coexist and work together. We must keep in mind that our end goal that we all share is to improve the student experience. I do want to remind you all that Student Congress is a politically neutral body. This is difficult to enforce, especially when actions in DC have seeped into our daily lives and have had impacts on higher education. Many of us are just attempting to act proactively to safeguard the programs at OU that were created to support OU students. Whether this be the Center for Multicultural Initiatives, the Gender and Sexuality Center, or the Disability Support Services Office, these initiatives have helped our most historically disadvantaged students graduate and thrive during their time at OU. A lot of you guys may not be aware, but we were actually the ones that decades ago fought so passionately to start those same offices. So as a member of this Congress, you are entitled to your political opinions. However, you do not get to discriminate against or disrespect the students you serve. This means respecting one another's identity, gender expression, sexuality, race, ethnicity, immigration status, religion, disability status, the list goes on. The point that I want to make here, though, is that sometimes there are initiatives that in Student Congress that we must work on to uplift the student body and protect the programs that OU students rely on. But remember that as student representatives, before we belong to any political party, we belong to the student body, and we owe it to our peers to prioritize our unity before any other divisions. Being a part of Student Congress is a big deal. Historically, we have propelled tangible and impactful changes for students at OU. But this comes with a great deal of responsibility and accountability. We cannot allow our differing political beliefs to slow down our momentum. So I implore you to please act as leaders. Remember that this is our duty to act with integrity, inclusivity, and respect. So thank you so much for listening, and let's continue the semester with love and perseverance. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you, President Garcia. Is there any other announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Before we move on to new business, I know we had some legislators join us. Legislator Smith, are you present or present and voting? All right, thank you. Is there anyone online as well that I did not get? Legislator Mason?
Present.
All right, thank you. Alrighty. Next up, we will move on to new business. First thing under new business, we have the approval of Dakota Atkinson for Validations Committee. This is presented by Director Richardson. Director Richardson, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. All right, so in attempts to fill the validation committee, I have sent out a forum. The only one who have gotten back to me was Dakota. And so I come up here today for his approval. I want everyone to know that in order to make this as transparent as possible for everybody, to make sure that everything is secure in elections and that it goes smoothly, I do need people for these committees and commission. So quickly, if you have any friends or just people interested in what Student Congress does or wants an insight on what elections look like, please reach out to me. I will give you the sign-up sheet. Well, the more people we get on these committees, the faster Congress is. It's just going to be better for all of us in the end, guys. But anyway, moving on. Approval of Dakota. So Dakota is a great member of our student body. He's a good. Not only a good friend to a lot of us here, but I know for a fact that he's going to be a really good candidate for the validation committee. He knows this is a bigger responsibility. And, you know, in attempts to fill this committee, I know that, he's gonna do a great job on it. And I know you guys, if I can stand up here and tell you that you can trust him to do the job that he is here to do. With that, I will have Dakota speak on his behalf. Thank you.
Hello all. As Taylor mentioned, I'm a student here at Oakland University. I am in my final semester here at Oakland. I have never been a part of the student congress here. And why I say those things is to say that I have no particular connection, anyone's, the outcome of any election related to this body. I'd like to say that I'm very neutral on a lot of things, and I truly want only the best for our school, and the best for the next session, or the next election. I'd like to believe as well that I will work hard to make sure that if there are any issues, that I help ensure that they are rectified, and only a transparent and neutral vote is what perseveres in the end. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dakota. Really quickly before you step off, is there any questions anyone has for Dakota at this time? All right. Oh,
I was just gonna ask how much room. I was wondering what made you want to get involved with the validations committee and what made you want to help out with our elections?
Thank you for asking. Legislator Lynn Chair. Like, basically, I apologize.
I didn't know my own
Sure,
title. actually.
please.
I
Whatever.
apologize for misstating the title. I was interested in this position because Taylor Richardson, as I colloquially know them as, reached out to me wondering my interest level in supporting student elections here at Oakland University. And I like to help people achieve better things. And I'd like to think that here at Oakland, a good election makes sure that the rest of the student body understands that we take our jobs here seriously.
Incredibly well said. Thank you.
all right. Is there any other questions for Dakota at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna ask you to step out into the hallway really quickly and then we'll bring you back in just a minute. If you could close the door behind you and if someone could grab that door as well, thank you. Alright, is there any discussion on Dakota's approval for the validations committee at this time? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll go ahead and move right into a vote. Alrighty, Chairperson Smith.
Okay.
Legislator DeVore.
Okay.
Legislator Mullins.
Yeah.
Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Drozwicki.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Yeah.
Legislator Iveza Maria. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yeah.
Legislator Smith.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf.
Yeah.
Alrighty, would someone like to, oh, you know what? Legislator Ali, are you present or present and voting?
Present.
Alright. And how would you like to vote?
Oh, they moved everything down.
Yeah, that's fine though. Okay, you can go ahead and grab. Alrighty, congratulations, Dakota, as the newest member of the Validations Committee.
Excited to get on there. That's what you're intended.
Alrighty, next up, under new business, we will go ahead and move on to the approval of Olivia Moore as the SAFB Director of Outreach. This is presented by Chairperson Liati. You have the floor.
Hi, this is probably the last SAP approval for at least another couple weeks, I don't know. But hi, so, unfortunately, Olivia wasn't able to be here because she had a class and, no, she had a shift at her job. So she wasn't able to be here and she sent me a little speech for me to read it out, like I did with Natalie last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and to preface this, she really impressed my co-chair, Mia, and I during the interview. So hello everyone. My name is Olivia Chance Moore, though most people call me Liv, and I'm honored to serve as new Director of Outreach for the Student Activities Funding Board. I'm truly excited to be here and join a community that is as passionate about enriching our campus life as I am. In this role, I look forward to bridging the gap between our board and all of you, ensuring that your ideas, concerns, and aspirations are heard and acted upon. With a background in digital advancement and a deep commitment to student engagement, I'm eager to explore new and creative ways to connect our diverse community and amplify our collective voice. Thank you for welcoming so warmly. I can't wait to work together, support our shared goals, and make a positive impact on our campus. Here's to a great year ahead. Thank you. Olivia. So I guess I'll open up the floor to questions to me, since she's not here. Yeah.
Anyone have any questions? President Garcia?
Hey, Chairperson Liani, could you explain a little bit about what, SAFB Director of Outreach would do?
Yeah, so this is a position that we have been filled for a little while now, but it is a position that her main role would be to reach out to all the organizations that have not used funds in the year or the previous year and make sure that they know what their options are and to work with them whenever they need to figure out what they want to do for their events, how they can achieve that using SAFB funding. And in the case that SAFB decides to have an event like we had last semester with our budget workshop, she would be the one in charge of getting that figured all out.
All right, is there any other questions regarding Olivia's approval at this time?
I would also want to say that for the Director of Outreach position, as a former Director of Outreach, I would say that it's also about building relationships and connections to the students that are already request funds. So I think that will also be part of the job.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions or discussion regarding this approval at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Alrighty, Chairperson Smith. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Mullins. Legislator Prashandaro. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali.
Yeah.
Legislator Drozwicki.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yeah.
Legislator Smith.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
Alrighty, with that, Olivia has been approved as the Director of Outreach for SAFB. Alrighty, next up under new business, we have CR 6709. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson, you have the floor.
Howdy do, kind folks, as promised, here are the fruits of my labor for the last week. So, yeah, cool. Presented a resolution to support the maintenance of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives at Oakland University. Whereas the federal government has taken a hostile approach to diversity, equity, and inclusive practices, programs, and initiatives within the government and a lot of areas under its jurisdiction. The Oakland University Student Congress remains committed to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives within the Oakland University community and to the positive impact these programs have had on the student body. Offices including the Center for Multicultural Initiatives, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Gender and Sexuality Center, Disability Support Services, Academic Success Center, and the Veterans Support Services. Are all integral to ensuring that all students, regardless of race, gender, sexuality, ability, or socioeconomic background, have access to the resources that they need to thrive. Without strong diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, students from marginalized backgrounds may struggle to find the support they need to navigate college, leading to increased disparities in academic success, retention, and graduation rates. Many students feel threatened by the elimination of numerous identity-based programs, as well as funding freezes at the federal level and a crackdown on immigration, which has led to a consistent and perpetual state of confusion, fear, and anxiety. President Maura Peskovitz has established a strategic response team to evaluate the impact of the federal government's executive orders and has reinforced the university's unwavering commitment to the principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Before I get into the action statements, I will note I intentionally sought the support of all the offices mentioned. And I received an email this morning from the Director of Disability Support Services thanking us for at least presenting and discussing this resolution as we've maintained our longstanding support and commitment for their office. Let it hereby be resolved by the members of the legislature and the executive board of the Oakland University Student Congress for the betterment of campus life and student life, that this Congress reaffirms its emphatic support for and commitment to maintaining and preserving all diversity, equity, and inclusion-related programs, offices, and initiatives within Oakland University. The Congress further welcomes any and all dialogue with President Peskovitz's strategic response team to ensure that student voices are heard in these discussions, that the Student Congress may remain proactive in its support for the student body and its advocacy for the best interests of our fellow students. The University Student Congress remains dedicated to celebrating the current heritage and identity-based celebrations, believing them important for creating a welcoming atmosphere on campus. These include, but are not limited to, Cultural Heritage Week, Black History Month, OU Pride Month, Juneteenth, Indigenous Peoples Day, Mental Health Awareness Week, AAPI Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Women's Day, Trans Day of Visibility and Trans Day of Remembrance, Autism Awareness Week, and numerous others that may not be explicitly listed here. The Oakland University Student Congress further commits to continue its advocacy for more comprehensive and robust funding for all diversity, equity, and inclusive programs, offices, and initiatives to allow these offices to maximize their potential effectiveness toward the student body. That is the resolution in its entirety. I will yield the floor to questions and discussion.
Legislator Waters. Legislator Dwork.
So I know it was mentioned that we welcome dialogue with President Petskovitz's strategic response team. Have we reached out to her office at all in order to get a voice in said strategic response team yet? And if not, is it possible to?
Not her office specifically, but from what I've heard, Vice President McIntosh, who's on the team, is willing to facilitate some form of dialogue with us so that we can know what they're discussing, and then we can then correlate through him what our best advocacies are to what their team is considering.
Legislator Waters, and then I'll go to Director Leatherface.
Thank you. I just wanted to just say something really quick. And that is, it seems that the university, like every aspect of the university, now regardless of how we may personally feel about it, I know how I personally feel about it. I sign on support this legislation. But the university seems pretty much in lockstep at every level of the board. And I feel that it would be only natural if we, especially if we join forces with them. And I feel it would just be very good this resolution pass. Thank you.
If I may respond to that, I will note Vice President McIntosh has also thanked us for the consideration of this legislation and the support to his office, as he is the Chief Diversity Officer for the university.
All right, is there any other questions for Speaker Johnson or discussion on CR 6709? I do not think so. If not, we will go ahead and move into a vote. Director Leatherface?
I did just want to say, to address, I think I put that out of your hand a little aggressively. I was like, to address legislator DeVore's point, President Petkovitz herself has, we spoke, Vice President Brummer and I spoke with her for a little bit afterwards, and she seemed, she didn't mention putting a student on the team, but she made it very clear that the team is remaining steadfast in their convictions. If I may speak plainly, it seems like we have a pretty sympathetic admin in this regard, and the Vice President and I were told prior to giving a comment at the Board of Trustees in favor of DEI by the President, or that it likely wouldn't receive a comment because they usually don't comment on comments from the gallery. But I believe, what was it, 4, maybe 5 members of the Board of Trustees addressed us directly and said that they would remain focused on it. So I know admin has a tendency to put hollow, you know, they'll claim to support something and then do nothing about it. It seems like in this case, the university has a real dedication to actually doing something in this instance, because it's such a personal issue for so many members higher up in the administration. And it's good to know that your fears have been belayed. It'd be nice to have a student on the team, but it seems like it's not a do nothing team at least. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or points of discussion before we move to a vote? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All right. All righty. Chairperson Smith?
Yay.
Legislator DeVore?
Yeah.
Legislator Mullins?
Yeah.
Legislator Prishendaro?
Yeah.
Legislator Waters?
Yeah.
Legislator Williams?
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson?
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith?
Yeah.
Chairperson Valdez? Chairperson Markowitz?
Yeah.
Parliamentarian Lunger?
Yay.
Legislator Ali?
Yeah.
Legislator Joswicki?
Yay.
Legislator Iveza? Legislator Iveza? Legislator Mason?
Yay.
Legislator Rosario?
Yay.
Legislator Smith?
Yay.
Legislator Wolf?
Yay.
Alrighty, with that, CR 6709 has been passed. Alrighty, so next up on the agenda, we have discussion. First up under discussion is student panel recruitment. This is presented by Chairperson Markowitz. Chairperson Markowitz, you have the floor.
Are we missing something? Because we placed that big order and it seems like now we have less red than green.
No, all the flags are in my desk, like the extra
Okay.
flags, there's a.
All right,
Yeah.
because I knew we had extras, and I was like, at some point, I want to go through the broken ones and fix, and like,
Go
toss
for
out
it.
the ones that are ripping.
Go for it.
But that makes sense. That's.
For the meeting minutes, all of the flags that are broken are because of me. It's a problem.
It's so easy. You waited too aggressively and bam, it's like, ripped off. I mean, look at this one.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyways, so I know I mentioned, a couple weeks ago about the student panel, and it was kind of vague at that point. We were still figuring out details. A lot more details have been figured out. You see me typing away at my keyboard like crazy. It's because I'm sending out emails, recruiting as much as possible. But I want to give everybody some more updates. So I sent a link in the Slack. I realized that I don't think that link worked at first. And so if somebody would check it now for me and tell me if it still doesn't work, because I just changed some settings. But there's a lot more information on there. But the idea is, which I alluded to a couple weeks ago, that having difficult conversations in the classroom is from a faculty perspective. And so this isn't an event for students to attend, it's just for student panelists. And so it's specifically for faculty and staff. This is important to us because we don't do many events like this. All of our events are targeted at just students, but this allows our voices to be heard with faculty and staff. And it's one of the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning, one of the most successful events of the year. Back-to-back years, we've gotten 50 people there, and normally their events get 10 to 12. So it's a pretty big event. Department chairs come, sometimes deans come. And so if you know anybody that's interested, if you're interested in helping out, please fill out that form. On the form too, I include when you need to let me know by. But we're looking for two different groups of students. So the first group is going to be people who help select panelists. So in previous years, I've been the one selecting panelists, which is great because I love having all the power, but it's bad for a lot of reasons. So I want to have a committee, which of course I'll be on it just to help out. But the more people, the better. It makes it easier for scheduling too, that if we get 20 people and 7 are able to come, that's perfect. And then there will also be, so that takes about, I put it on there, but I think I said about 5 hours total. And so you don't have to attend the event. Of course, if you want to attend the event, I would request virtually, but you're allowed to do that. And then if you're interested in actually being a panelist, so if you want to be on the committee, that's pretty much a guarantee unless, I don't know, you do something stupid. But if you want to be a panelist, that's going to be selected by that committee. And so it'll be probably 4 panelists. And so if that's something you're interested in, make sure to fill that out. Either way, please put your qualifications and whatnot. But it's a great opportunity for faculty to just be able to come and openly ask us questions. Because a lot of times faculty don't feel like their students in their classes are necessarily giving them the best feedback. I know there's times where I've given my teachers great feedback, and there's times that I've just kind of clicked through surveys or just said nothing. And so this is an opportunity for them to talk to really engaged students about how the heck do they address controversial topics? What do they do when they have moral conversations, or we're talking about politics and how controversial things have gotten and how tensions are raised. And so a lot of them really want help with regards to how to address that. I know one faculty was saying that one thing that she's particularly concerned about is that she doesn't want, like with an online, she was talking with the DSS, Disability Support Services, about her class being recorded because one of her students had a accommodation where the class would be recorded. But the problem for her is that she's afraid of students clipping what she said out of context, and then it ends up online, and then people are screaming about it even though it's completely out of context.
And so faculty really want our feedback on this kind of thing. So if you're interested, please fill out the form. Thank you. I yield.
Director Lehman Pace.
Sorry, I've got a lot to say today. It seems.
I can say with the recording bit specifically, the Senate has been trying to pass a resolution regulating the classroom recording policy, both for teachers and for students. So that, her concern there will be specifically addressed soon. Hopefully, it's been a nightmare because a lot of professors are really standing their ground on their right to post their videos on YouTube without any content blocks. Because they're like, well, it's my own content, and the university is like, yes, with an asterisk, like it is also technically ours. Because a lot of times these recordings can include like students who haven't necessarily consented to it. It's a whole can of worms. My hat goes off to my classmate who's trying to deal with it, but if you would like, you can relay to her that that specific issue is trying to be fixed. Thank you, I yield.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because one of the nice things about the panels is that there's like so many different areas that we can go to and so many different lines that we can go down. And so part of what we do in preparation is the panelists have like meetings before and we talk about like potential questions and stuff. So we can get prepared for questions like that, you know, that could come up.
Any other questions?
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chairperson Markowitz.
No green flags. Thank you.
I was coming back.
Alrighty, next up under discussion is, we're gonna talk about bonding. This is presented by Director Lehman Pace. Director Lehman Pace, you have the floor.
Well, you're not gonna talk a lot today. Sorry.
Hey there, everyone. So since Taylor is currently indisposed with the elections handling, I will be helping out with bonding this semester. And I wanted to facilitate some ideas from all of you. Of course, I've got a lot of things that are interesting to me, but aren't necessarily interesting to everyone else. I want to know, like, how far all of you are comfortable driving. If we'd like to carpool to, you know, if somebody's like, yeah, I'll drive 30 minutes, and like only 4 other people want to do that, then we could carpool it, you know, that sort of thing. Basically, I want to open a forum where you all can talk about what you're interested in doing for bonding, where you'd want to go, and what you think would be most beneficial for Congress. Thank you.
Director Skinner.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think carpooling would be a good idea, and I think we should do like either laser tag or an escape room.
President Garcia.
I just want to like just quickly for new members so that everyone is aware, because I know sometimes people aren't aware, then they avoid bonding. But just so everyone knows, we budget for bonding so that no one has to spend any money at bonding.
Legislator Waters.
Yeah, first off, the laser tag suggestion is a great one. I just wanted to say that, as long as it's like an event where it's like, I can socialize pretty easily and have a good time. I personally don't really care that much what we do, like in a sense of like, I'm excited, like it's more of like doing it with people who I respect. For me, about carpooling, I do think that's a very good idea as well. I don't think it should be like super far away. I mean, probably under 35 minutes. That's how long it usually takes for me to get here. Yeah, I mean,
Let's all go to Macomb County to help you out.
don't go there.
We'll hang out in Warren.
No, I read that in the book.
Legislator DeWitt.
I really just wanted to throw my support for the carpooling idea, but I also had an idea for that, is we do randomized carpooling. That way we can do a little bit more bonding with some of the members of Congress we don't necessarily talk to as much, break us out of our little cliques we have. I think that would be a pretty cool idea to add on to that. I yield the floor.
Chairperson Smith.
First off, I support Legislator DeVore's idea wholeheartedly. That is actually really neat, and I'm very glad you came up with that. But for my personal preference in terms of what's good for bonding, as long as all of you guys are there and there's food, I think it's perfect. I give the floor.
Legislator Gershondara.
For bonding, if we do indeed go for laser tag, I would recommend MI Combat. It is close by to campus, and I will be having a birthday party there. And also my birthday is coming up, and also if I do, many of you would be invited.
I did want to say, to legislator DeVore's point, one thing, I know obviously a lot of us weren't there, but after the first meeting of the semester, we had went by Applebee's and we did this thing where we, and the waitress was okay with it, we weren't burdening a service worker. She let us, kind of rotate around, because we had two tables that weren't fully connected, so we just rotated tables a little bit. And it facilitated so, like, not to use like business words, it facilitated great conversation, but no, it was just really fun. Cause we all get along well enough that we got to have conversations with people in different dynamics that we don't usually have, and I think that I really like the randomized carpooling idea.
Also, I normally abstain from personal comments, but in regard to MI Combat, it is definitely not for the faint of heart and the unathletic. I will
My
say
first
that.
thought was Zap Zone over at Utica, which would be good for legislator Waters, and it's just off M53. There's a lot of stuff in Utica.
Legislator Wolf?
I can say that combat very realistic. Feels like it was built by someone with violent fantasies. Also happy birthday, boy. Maybe we could go to, we could go to Ann Arbor and hang out on Michigan University campus to pretend like we go to a real university. And we can go to Zingerman's Deli, because Zingerman, they have it here, but this one is awful, it says coffee. Real Zingerman, so many sandwiches, we love sandwiches, let's get a sandwich.
Let the record reflect, I have been fighting for Detroit for a while to no avail. I believe Ann Arbor might be a losing battle.
President Garcia?
Question, is it legislator Virginaro's birthday?
What?
Is it your birthday? Okay.
Chairperson Liati?
I was about to get the pinata
Right,
ready.
So I'm just gonna comment some of the things that SFB has done for bonding. One really popular bonding thing that we did was go to the movies. I don't know how much bonding is involved because there's supposed to be fight in the movies, but before and after we had a lot of fun just talking, and to quote one of the people on the board, we felt really bonded afterwards. We watched We Did. Yeah, so that's just an idea I could throw out there, and another thing that we did that was a lot of stuff, but could run kind of expensive, was Top Golf, but that one for a lot of people probably wouldn't work.
I'm scared of both, no.
And ice skating, as one for all there, ice skating.
I might butt in one more time, and I promise I'm trying to give my voice equal weight to other people's. As some of you know, I am the biggest shill of the Redford Theater, which is this 97-year-old theater in northwestern Detroit. Tickets are $7. They show old movies every other weekend. Could be fun, but that one's a lot more of a drive, but it's also $7 and then like $5 for popcorn and a drink. But that one, that's just squeezing that in there, just sliding it.
Legislator Williams?
Personally, I think it would be interesting if we could do something on campus, like, there's a lot of like possibilities of what we could possibly do here, but honestly, in general, I don't really care what we do, like, I'm going to do almost anything, well, almost.
Tour of Meadowbrook Mansion sounds quite fun. Legislator Ibeza? Okay, so I'm not sure if we're like open to like being on campus, but I know with like the possibility of us going out, like we are not gonna have everyone. Because that's just the way things go. Like I even notice like when I plan things and we have to go out of our way to like travel, because like we don't know where everyone lives. So I don't know, like if you guys wanted to do like a game night here, like I think that when we did that present, what was it?
The present.
Yeah, the present game, like the last meeting of the last semester, that was like pretty fun. I think we bonded well over that. Honestly, I feel like I just was against like the theater thing just because there's not as much interaction. In my club, I'm president of the American Marketing Association. As you guys know, we have a game night on March 10th, free plug. But, we did like a coffee and like desserts thing over at St. 1881 last semester, and it went really well, and we were just talking, and yeah, it was just fun. So even if you guys wanted to go to a restaurant or something, Again, I don't really care what we do, but I would just recommend going somewhere close to here.
That is traditionally what we have done, legislator Avesa, I did wanna, sorry, I just took a bite of bagel. They're really good. Traditionally, we have stayed 5-10 minutes from campus, you know, go to Rochester, go to Auburn Hills. I know last semester we ate food right in downtown Rochester, and we got to walk around a little bit afterwards. Since it's a good central location, we know everybody will go here anyway. That's why if all of you check the Slack, I'm not letting you leave until you fill out my availability form, which has Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday for potential bonding days. Thank you.
I will also add that kind of to what legislator Ibeza mentioned, we sometimes have tried to do bondings like right after GBM so that we can keep most of you at bonding, so we have as many people as possible. Chairperson Markowitz?
Agree, a couple thoughts. I will second the opinion that please no movies. That sounds terrible. I'm so sorry, but also I think that we should keep in mind that whatever we choose, that the opt out is appealing enough. And so I really like the idea of ice skating, because I imagine if we went ice skating, there would be a good number of people that probably wouldn't go. But there's benches and stuff, like there's still plenty of time to talk. I feel like I would be the only one that's like, I don't want to sit in a movie theater, and then it would just be bonding with myself, which is awkward. That might be a little bit tough with ice skating after a GBM. I have to look, so I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I know immediately after GBM, we didn't have the best availability, which is.
roller skating would be fun too, yeah. I second.
Oh, yeah, the new rate conference, Shelby.
Parliamentarian Lunger?
I really enjoyed the bowling at Classic Lanes in Rochester in winter 2024 semester. That was a lot of fun. It was an enjoyable experience. So I think bowling would be good, or a day at the rec center. There's several different activities people can do at the rec center. There's basketball, swimming, different activities. I think there's volleyball too, so we could either do a day at the rec or we could do bowling, you know, for something different.
Hallie?
I'm not sure if there's options like this around here, because I normally do it in Brighton, but there is a Samsung Rollerama like combo, and I think that would encapsulate everything. Obviously, Brighton is way too far. But I feel like, I know there's roller rinks around here. Also, Round One's a great place to go. They've got bowling, they've got arcades, they've got karaoke. And it's rather close.
Director Hadid?
I think like last year, winter semester, we went to Buddies, and I think that was really good, 'cause it's right next to school. You sit down, you have to talk to everyone around you, so that was fun.
Chairperson Smith?
Hey, I just wanted to ask, Director Lemon Pace, if you could send that availability again in the Slack, because I tried to find it earlier and I couldn't. I failed miserably.
It's in the announcement. Oh, I forgot to turn this off.
I announced it. I put it in the announcements, so people wouldn't miss it.
If you search the search bar bonding, it should pop up as one of the first ones.
Just go to the announcements channel.
Yeah, we don't use our announcements channel a ton, so I was like, I'm gonna make myself important and use the announcements channel.
Legislator Waters?
Just throwing it out there, round one. Arcades, karaoke, bowling, all that. Just throwing it out there.
All right, any other discussion about funding? Ideas? Right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you, Director Lehman Pace. I look forward to seeing some of the final options.
Thank you all for the wonderful suggestions. And then continue to message me with any if you've got them.
Alrighty. Next up on the agenda, we have legislative updates. First up is Speaker of the Legislature, Speaker Johnson, you have the floor.
Going on, folks, I'm back. So, in the spirit of bonding, I'll rearrange how I was initially going to present these. Firstly, I'd like to announce that we are in the process of planning our second annual Govies event. For our new legislators who don't know what the Govies are, it's basically like an end of the year, end of term celebration thing. We give out paper plate awards that are usually pretty cool. We also recognize members of Congress who've done some distinctive work that deserve recognition. Typically, we have good food. We did them last year. They went really well. Everyone had a lot of fun. So I'm letting you know we're doing those again. Keep a lookout on your emails, because I'm gonna send you a Google form, and I'm gonna send it in the Slack too, so that you may nominate individuals to receive a paper plate award. Let's keep the nominations kind and respectful, and remember, I am monitoring those. Secondly, I would like to inform you all, or I'm not inform, remind you, Meet the Reps is this month on the 18th, 11 to 1. The setup we're going to do, we're gonna have some tables in the OC, right? I'll get your question just said. We're gonna have some tables in the OC in that food court area. A couple of them are gonna have some really fun giveaway stuff. We've merged our commuter support event with it. So we have some very, very fun drawings to do. And I hope you can all attend, because you should have gotten a Google Calendar invite with the sign-up sheet and everything for that. Beyond that, I don't have too much to nag and complain about, so I will yield the floor.
All right, thank you, Speaker Johnson. For anyone who has questions or comments, if we could wait until the last two sections of legislative updates, that'd be awesome. Next up, we have liaison reports. Is there any liaisons that would like to provide their report? Parliamentarian Lunger.
PCO is going to have a Meet the E-Board event. Where we can meet the entire PCO e-board, and we're also, PCO is also looking for new e-board members, since the president and vice president are graduating. So if anyone's interested in joining the PCO e-board, let me know, and if anyone's interested in attending the event, let me know. The event will be held in Mary Jamieson's lab.
All right, is there any other liaisons with us today that would like to provide their report? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Is there any updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time? Okay. All right.
There's one.
Oh, my bad. Legislator Smith?
So in our legislative meeting that we had, student advocacy committee, whatever, task force. We talked about kind of going through different trainings or just different things that we can do to get more involved with student body. And just know that how to communicate better with each other and then just other variety of students. So I did talk to our OGL orientation new student programs person, and they were just wondering on what different kind of trainings that we would all want to kind of go through in order to prepare. But she was definitely down to do some sort of training with all of us and kind of go through different things in order to work with other students. So yeah.
That is wonderful to hear, and I would love to work with you more on that. Chairperson Smith?
Thank you, thank you. I just wanted to say, please, people, when you're going to be absent for a meeting, please remember to fill out the excused absence form. We've been having a lot of unexcused absences recently, which is a painful thing to have to, nag people and track people down for. And also, please clock an hour a week, please. There's been some people that do not clock at least 1 hour per week, which you have to do. That is one of the requirements as a part of being a member of Student Congress. 1 hour a week is not that hard, I promise. I will be tracking you down if you do not clock at least an hour. I yield the floor.
Also, in light of that, is there anyone who's had issues accessing the excused absence form? Okay, never mind then. Legislator Waters.
I was gonna say this earlier, but, and then I remembered, that the legislative initiatives is something that I can talk about here. I've been working on with President Garcia and VP Brummer, with the International Students Association, I believe, for a little event on Friday, March 7th, about international student rights and immigration more broadly within the climate of the current climate. So if you want to be there, that would be very cool. Hey, look forward.
Majority Leader Smith.
All right, let's get those green flags ready. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so the Student Congress concern survey is officially up now. This will be a trial run, so basically I have it on my computer. I'll share it to everyone. I put it in Slack. It's basically a form where students can fill out any concerns they may have, whether it's like administrative stuff or just issues they have on campus. Then it'll go through the form and it will be sent to me, and I can kind of work with people on coming up with solutions. So I want to find anyone that's interested, a few legislators that could help kind of like draft solutions to these concerns. What else? Oh, also this will be happening during tabling as well. So I believe we have an event on Valentine's Day. And I want to have a QR code that has a link to the form, so students that are going to the table can scan it if they'd like. That's it, thank you.
All right, any other updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time? All right, seeing none, is there any questions related to legislative reports? Legislator DeVore?
I just wanted to confirm something with Speaker Johnson's announcement earlier. The Google Calendar invite says it's for February 18th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Is it, I just wanted to confirm the date for that. Is that correct?
Yes, that should be correct.
It's
Did I say the wrong date?
You said March earlier.
Oh, I'm stupid. No, it is February. I apologize. I thought I said this month, but I must have said this month. My apologies. February 18th.
All right,
Yeah, red flag me out.
with the red flags, I yield the floor.
Chairperson Markowitz?
This isn't your question, but I had one other thought about team bonding, that I forgot to mention. I just went up to, the DECA state competition. And as a part of team bonding, it wasn't planned. We just ended up playing the card game, We're Not Really Strangers. And it's intended to allow people to be vulnerable in an easier manner. And we bonded and it was amazing. So that would be cool if we could have something for people to opt out.
Legislator Williams?
So I have a question related to the Meet the Reps event. So is there going to be like a theme to it? Because I remember last time, it was like kind of Halloween themed and I really liked that. So I was wondering.
At the request and suggestion of Chairperson Liani, we will do a Valentine's Day themed Meet the Reps. Given that it is 4 days after Valentine's Day, I figured I will let the heart holiday have its due.
Legislator Waters?
Thank you. This isn't a question. I just forgot to say this. The immigration event is from 4 to 6 on Friday, March 7th. I just forgot to say the time. So thank you.
Legislator Wolf?
All you little menstrual product freaks love to go fill them with me. All my friends, be on alert. We will be getting a shipment any day now. Do not lose hope. They are coming. Be excited. Hype this up. It's gonna be better than Christmas. It's gonna be like more exciting than Eid. I swear to God it is.
All right, any other questions related to legislative projects? Or related to legislative reports? My apologies. Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, so next up on the agenda, we have executive reports. First, we will start with Student Body President, President Garcia.
Hey everyone, I won't touch on everything on my list. I'm only gonna touch on one just for the sake of time, but if you have questions about the others, please feel free to reach out to me. The one thing that I wanted to talk about was the Princeton Review Partnership. A lot of you guys have already seen it on Slack, but for those of you who haven't, it's basically like so the way that I found out about this is that the MSU student government does something. And it's a free partnership. Basically, they provide like 50% off discounts to our board members, and then 20% discounts to any OU student. And also they are like willing to like organize events like workshops and stuff to like prep students for like what's the name? Things like the LSAT and the MCAT. I would like some help with outreach with regards to like pre-law and pre-med organizations. Yeah. And then we can do, sorry. So we can do, so let me know if anyone is interested in helping me with marketing or outreach, because I think it's a pretty cool program. All right, thank you.
All right, as for my report, I only put 3 main things just because I want to stay brief for the sake of time. For Meet the Reps, as Speaker Johnson mentioned, there is a tabling sign up for it. What I did for the tabling sign up, I just listed everybody's name. If you could indicate on the sheet, like if you're available and if so, what times you'll be there for, just so we have a rough idea of like how many people we're gonna have at each point throughout the event, that would be great. I met with Julia Rodriguez earlier this week to continue stuff with course markings. We're looking to design some handouts that students can bring to professors to kind of help start those conversations around course markings and course conversion and keeping course materials affordable. So we will be working on that. And then I'm also working with Julia to kind of set up a guide for other universities within the state of Michigan to found and start some ACMI infrastructure at their university, and kind of some tips and tricks of how to go about doing that. And then also we had task forces last week. We went over some procedure with Swag Exchange. If anybody has any questions regarding that, please let me know. I'm happy to answer questions. And then I was also going to discuss what Legislator Smith brought up in seeing if we could put together some type of workshop for student Congress members to kind of improve the way that we communicate with the student body and the students that we represent. So I will leave it at that. Next up, we have our advisors, Advisor Miller. Raise his hand. Chairperson Liani. Oh, my apologies. Nothing? Okay.
Thank you. I just want to let you know that this week is OU Week of Kindness. And I'm hoping that we are all practicing that with one another. In particular, on Wednesday is OU Day of Kindness, and it is in combination of MLK Day, a service that was canceled because of the weather. We're hoping that the weather is going to hold out for OU Day of kindness, and that it will be in the habitat this year in terms of the different projects that we're going to do for our community members. And we are also having a volunteer fair. If you are still looking for volunteer hours, particularly related to your classes, this is the opportunity to meet at least 14 nonprofits and social service agencies that will be here. And you can talk to them up close and personal. And we have the therapy dogs that will be here as well. We have lots of activities throughout the week. Please check it out on Resorts, and love to see your presence at the different things that we're doing to remind ourselves of practicing kindness on a daily basis. The other thing that I would like to do is also challenge you, because we're trying to collect stuffed animals. So we just happened to go to the dollar store this week and buy a couple of stuffed animals and bring them here. It goes for the children of Pontiac so that they have something warm and cuddly to have them hold. The other thing, I'm sorry, but I do have to make this comment. Oakland University is a real university. And it is also my alma mater as well.
True.
So I just make sure that not only am I very proud for attending here, but I hope that all of you are equally as proud as well. So I just had to say that.
Alrighty, thank you, Advisor Miller. Next up on the agenda, is there any updates related to eBoard projects and initiatives at this time?
Yes,
All right, go ahead, Director Skinner.
not too much on my plate right now, but I do want to remind everyone that we have the Live Owl event coming up this Wednesday, 5 to 7. I know there's some other stuff going on, like I know I believe the political science group and maybe a legislator meeting, but the Live Owl event will be really cool. And you get to meet live owls. So I think it'll be good. So everyone should come. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Director Skinner. Director Hadid.
Can we touch the owls?
We cannot touch the owls, unfortunately. Although, Director Skinner, correct me if I'm wrong, but there will be owl pellets there to dissect, if I am correct.
Yeah. After we there's going to be a big presentation about the owls, just from a naturalist, and then the naturalist is going to bring up their owls that you can see, and then we'll dissect the owl pellets after that too, if anyone wants to.
Okay, so there is still a tangible, like touch and learn aspect of it. So still very fun and exciting. Any other updates related to eBoard projects and initiatives?
Okay. I do want to just go give like a quick rundown on timesheets because I know there's a lot of new members. So timesheet, you have to plug them in based off the multiples of 6. So sometimes like people get that confused to like have you be like 26 or like 16, something like that, but it isn't. It's like 6, 12, 24, 30, 36, whatever, you get the point. So it's not like 26 or 56, it's multiples of 6. If I do timesheets Sunday between 7 to 8 p.m., if you don't have it in by that time, then I probably have not input your hours in for that week. So if you miss that time frame or like you forget to plug it in or add your descriptions, because also if you don't add descriptions, then I also can't input your hours. So make sure you add descriptions and have good descriptions. So like I'm gonna kind of be a bit more stricter on that because I feel like that's like a priority of ours, because we also need to know like what you guys are doing within that time frame. We need enough, like I need enough information to know, like being in the office or like just saying office isn't enough for me to be like, oh, I know that what they were doing for 5 hours. No, so I do need more descriptions, and like starting this week, like if you don't give me enough description, then I also will not be able to input your hours. Because I feel like it's quite unfair. And then, yeah, so don't forget your descriptions before then. And if you do, then let me know, because I can like, we can work it, like, I can still give you your hours, I just need to know. Thank you, that's it.
I will also add that the first page of everybody's timesheet includes an example timesheet. And in the descriptions, there is example tasks. So if you're looking for any clarification on that, take a look at that. And if you still have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. All right. Any questions related to executive reports? All right, seeing none, is there any comments from the gallery at this time? Allie?
I wanted to talk about an event. I thought it was on Oakland's campus. I was mistaken. It's just outside of campus, at Oakland University's Research and Innovation Center. The School of Engineering and Computer Science is collaborating with a bunch of people, I'm not entirely sure, for a Making Michigan Innovation Expo. It's gonna have a lot of technology. It's going to have like a lot of people there. They're gonna talk about innovation, the economy, stuff like that. The opening remarks are delivered by Congresswoman Haley Stevens. And if you go, you will be, and you register, you are entered in a raffle for a 3D printer. There is a QR code to sign up. I can put it in the Slack or just like, email me or something.
Kayla Snow?
I have just a couple of questions. So for starters, to Legislator Johnson, I know that's not your title, apologies, Speaker Johnson, I was blanking on it, apologies for that. With this new legislation, with this new resolution, will this translate to tangible aid such as pursuing faster repair times on disability aids, showing more inclusive and for racial and LGBTQIA students throughout the entire academic year and not just during specific days or months? So lowering textbook costs through further scholarships, so on and so forth.
Speaker Johnson?
To my knowledge, my hope and prayer, given that from here, this resolution is going to the University Senate, which is made up of faculty, and should they approve it as well, then we're going to, I don't know if they're going to present it to the Board of Trustees. But my hope is that with the passage of this resolution showing student support for these initiatives, we're able to put ourselves in a stronger position to advocate for basically everything you just said. So I cannot unfortunately guarantee a yes or a no, because that does require work on part of the administration as well. And I can't speak to what other people are going to say to us. But my hope is that this will put us in a better position when we advocate with them that these are the things we want to see, these are the things we want. We can show that not only is there support behind this, but the institutions that they fund also supported this notion as well.
Chairperson Marquez?
Also realistically, if for some reason the university went extreme, as a Congress, since we do have funding and we've shown in the past too, like we've donated $10,000 to the counseling center. So if for some reason, the university didn't want to, like, it's possible that we could look into budgeting for it in the future, but of course, we would prefer for the university to prioritize DEI. 20,000.
Kayla Snow?
Thank you for that. Next to Chairperson Lehman. Guys, in terms of speaking to the Board of Trustees, I know you mentioned that you have faith that they will follow through on their claims. How exactly are you prepared to hold them accountable if for whatever reason they do not?
I can, yeah. Being realistic, I'm out of here in a couple months. I will say they're not going to renege on their promise. Half of them have backgrounds in DEI programs, either running them, assisting with them, or even having been recipients of them. You know, Trustee Welch told us a story that he had heard, and I'll recount it as best as I can here. A third grade class has a pet goldfish. Everyone loves the goldfish. It's like the class's mascot. One day, the teacher says that she's going to step out of the room, and she scoops the goldfish out of the bowl. She puts it on the table and says, "No one touch it while I'm gone. It will be okay." The teacher walks away. She leaves the room. It's been about 5 minutes. You know, the goldfish is struggling out of the water. A lot of the students they're like, well, it's struggling, but the teacher said not to do anything. But one of the students stands up and says it's the right thing to do and puts it back in the bowl. At that moment, the teacher walks back into the room and says, "You passed the test." And he said that he wants Oakland University to, even if there are issues, be the student who put the goldfish back in the bowl. He wants Oakland University to be the one who is doing the right thing, even when it is difficult. You know, they said that no matter what, we will steady the course and we will remain committed. You know, DEI is even a personal issue to President Paskevitz. Her father was a rabbi who worked closely with Dr. King and the civil rights movements, to the point where, and she informed me that her brother actually took it. She has some of the pens that Lyndon Baines Johnson used to sign the civil rights acts. You know, like, it's a deeply personal issue to so many members of administration, and they've made it clear that they will stay on task, but we have avenues of communication with them to ensure that they are listening to student voices in the meantime. So I don't think it's as much of a worry as it is at other places that they won't act in favor of DEI, but we've got ways to communicate with them. I just personally do not, as I'm graduating. And I will say, I know that you've been here a few times. You've made your voices heard, and I'd say honestly, run for student congress if you're interested in making a difference on campus. That way you can be one of the people that hold it. Thank you.
Legislator Wolf. History can attest to in times of great strife, professors and students alike have taken great revolutionary and civil action to, stand in face of great adversity, great oppression and totalitarianism. As in Chile, student and professor strikes and actions have resulted in the death of dozens, if not hundreds, of students and professors. And I believe that although it may not certainly come to something like that, you can see in past strikes simply for their own labor rights at OU, professors have struck. And I believe that if it comes to it, professors and students alike at OU will strike in order to protect the rights and dignities of their students and professors and staff.
Speaker Johnson?
I will offer a comment to Legislator Wolf's statements by reminding Congress that habitually and historically, we've always remained quite close in closeness and relationship and tandem with the AAUP, which is the Professors Union, and vice versa. They've been very supportive of us. So I will echo the hopes that should the university as a whole decide to go completely out of whack in the opposite direction, that we will have faculty support with students as far as the maintenance of these programs, as a reminder of which groups are the most important at this facility, well, not institution, not facility. I will yield.
Kayla Snow?
Thank you all. And then just for one final question, just to get a bit of clarification on that update about the lower textbook costs. I know you mentioned having a couple statewide campaigns, but what about in terms of at this university specifically? While I do acknowledge and admire your goal and drive to lower the cost for the whole state of Michigan, as you can imagine, speaking as a student, it's not quite my priority as looking to next semester.
Absolutely. In terms of course markings, although it is a statewide collaborative effort, I've been working very closely with the provost in order to see how we can specifically benefit course markings and material affordability here. One of those things that we're exploring currently is the possibility of a Z degree, which would be a bachelor's degree that you could earn essentially by navigating no cost and low cost courses entirely. Another thing that we're looking at is course release for professors that participate in the stipend program. Currently, they cannot lighten their course load while they're participating in converting their course. So I'm hoping to work with the provost in order to see if we can drop one of those courses so that professors feel more incentivized to convert their course. And I mean, overall, just helping with awareness and also communicating with a variety of different stakeholders to address barriers. Is that answer? Okay, all right. Next up, we have announcements. Any announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right. Seeing none, we will go ahead and adjourn today's meeting at 6:20 p.m. Thank you.